Now, there's no one who knows more about a person's credit score tanking and improving than a bankruptcy attorney. And here we are with Luke Homen, one of the top filers in Oklahoma. Luke, good to see you.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me back.
So, high level, you see people come in for the most part when they're filing a bankruptcy. They stop making their payments, right? It's very normal to stop making their payments to pay for the bankruptcy or something like that, and your credit score starts dropping. And people think it's best to become cash only citizens. I'm not going to do anything.
The grid,
Yeah,
get some land and like raise chickens.
yeah, no one's gonna know me again. I'm never gonna get a credit card again. And I say often, I'm like, that's a mistake because the person you were before is not the person you are after bankruptcy. You're much more
Absolutely.
diligent, smart, intelligent, and you understand finances. From a bankruptcy attorney's perspective, where do you go with all this?
All right. Well, the first thing I want people to understand is when they're at the door of bankruptcy, the people who are lending the money are taking advantage of you. They're lending you money at extremely high interest rates. They probably already have a plan to repossess your vehicle or to gouge you in every possible way. They refer to you as either deep subprime or subprime lending, meaning we're going to take advantage of you. We're going to make a lot of money off these people because they've got a lot of debt. So, first off, you don't have as many good opportunities as you think you do. You're probably being taken advantage of right now because you're not. That's what your credit report is telling them. One of the huge things I try to tell people is one of the things that creditors look at on your credit score is how much debt do you have right now? Because all of those people are sort of already at the front of the line in terms of collecting from you. When you file the bankruptcy and you eliminate all that bad debt, well, now there isn't a line of people at the door waiting to collect from you. And it makes you actually a much more appealing person to loan money to because you've wiped that slate clean.
Yeah, right, right. Absolutely. I mean, and you're not going to be able to file bankruptcy for many, many years, right? It's not like, I mean, the commentary,
Actually, a
yeah,
safe
but
person to lend money to.
yeah, you're a safe person. And a lot of people think, oh, bankruptcy is for people who take advantage, they charge it up in bankruptcy. That's very, very seldom. Like,
Right.
do we come across people like that?
No, and it can happen. I remember a client who she was bipolar and she ran out and bought a whole bunch of things and she was hiding things from her husband. And eventually the husband said, "What have you been doing?" "Oh, well, I had a manic streak and I bought a bunch of shiny things." Um, that's not normal. It's not just people shopping that file bankruptcy, right? It's I had a medical, I had a job loss, I had a divorce, I had
Yeah.
this bad life event. And now, in order to grapple with it and get out of it, I'm looking at a bankruptcy.
Yeah. Let's just pretend someone's getting ready to file bankruptcy. What they don't know is the day after they file, you can look at your car options that you couldn't have the day before you
Yes.
speak into that because it's actually fascinating. No,
No,
no.
now, I do want to distinguish between 7 and the 13.
Okay.
You file a Chapter 7 and you can take out new debt the next day.
Mhm.
When you file a Chapter 13,
Right.
you can only take out new debt with court permission.
Mhm.
It can still be done. You can file a 13 and go get a new car. But first, you have to ask the judge, and the judge is going to say, "What can you afford?" and still make your payments. But the judge knows that, at least in Oklahoma and probably most of the country, you can't get to work if you don't have a car.
Mhm.
Probably possible to get approved for a car. It's not going to be a BMW, it might be a Dodge Neon.
Yeah.
But even in the 13, you can get a new car. You just got to jump through the right hoops. Now, in a 7, you file the bankruptcy, and the next day, you're allowed to get new debts. And the reason why is those debts are not included in your bankruptcy.
Mhm.
Any debt that you acquire the day after you file bankruptcy, it's not an included debt in that process. But here's the thing. When you walk down to Joe's Car Corner or Seth Wadley Ford or whoever like that, they're not going to understand this distinction.
Yeah.
But your bankruptcy attorney can connect you with a car dealership that does.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them, but there are some that do understand this distinction. We have clients, I would say probably 4 or 5 clients a month who buy a car from the dealer that we refer them to.
Yeah.
It's something that they can afford, and they start that process. They get that car. within days of filing the bankruptcy. And that's crucial because it means that they could take that old car with lots of debt and surrender it.
Gone.
Gone.
It's like a get out of jail free card with the bank.
Financial get out of jail free card.
Yeah, because so many times we've seen people have leases. They put in too many miles on their truck or their car.
Or they rolled bad debt into the next purchase.
Yeah.
You were $6,000 underwater on this car. You bought a new car, and now you're $6,000 underwater on the next car instantly. And it just keeps stacking up and getting worse. It's this, I talk all the time about a debt whirlpool. It's just like, it's getting worse and worse every day. And you got to be able to hit that reset button.
And it really is amazing. You get a different car, not a quote new, brand new off the showroom for it, but a new car to you with new tires and with properly changed. Yeah. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We'll have information on there's car dealerships that specifically work with people all over the country, but they're pure bankruptcy. We'll have the information.
And if you need a car. But you have a car from Johnny's Car Corner that took advantage of you.
Yeah, right. So, yeah. Well, I mean, and not only that, it's the rebuilding process. Now, in a Chapter 7 and a 13, you can rebuild your credit. Let's start with a Chapter 7, right?
Yeah.
It's really simple to rebuild your credit. There's 3 things you got to do. One, you got to get the errors off the credit report.
Right.
44% of the time, there's an error after a bankruptcy. These are things like it's not showing included in bankruptcy on your lit, or there's a late payment after the filing date. These are all errors that can be cleaned for free. And there's services who will do this for free, right? And they'll do it because there's part of the law of the Fair Credit Reporting Act that states if we send a creditor letter and it's not cleaned up, then the creditor pays the law firm. Right. So that's why they do it for free.
Right. But it's a huge benefit to the consumer.
Huge benefit to the computer. And then so there's 3 things after Chapter 7. And actually, it's the same for 13, but a little different. Get the errors off the credit report. 2, get 3 new secured cards or credit cards. It doesn't matter the interest rate or the fees because you're not going to have these credit cards long. I hear it all the time. People say, oh my God, this interest rate's 19%, 29%. I'm like, you're going to pay it off at the end of every month by one thing for $20? Pay it off.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And then 3, get some type of installment line. All this information will be in the notes here, but some type of the same monthly payment every month report as installment line. For 13, the only difference with the 13 is instead of getting credit cards, which is like a loan, you're getting secured cards, right? And this is when you're putting $200 in the bank and you're getting a credit card for that $200. So the trustees are worried about that because you're not getting new credit.
And of course, fully disclose everything.
Yeah.
Tell your attorney, make sure the trustee knows about it because bankruptcy is all about honesty and full disclosure.
Oh, yeah.
One other huge difference of the 13 is that you're making Chapter 13 payments to the trustee every month. Yeah. Chapter 13 trustee is using that to be paying your debts. Now, every case is different. How much of your debt, which debts, what are they going to? But in the 13, you are actively paying down your debts for 3 to 5 years. And so that's already an added sort of mandatory feature of your 13 is paying down your debt. And as we talked about earlier, as your debts get smaller, your credit score is going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is amazing. We've seen people at 720 credit score rebuild their credit after bankruptcy in 12 to 24 months, 7 or a 13 to over 720 by following the 3 steps. And that's with the bankruptcy on the credit report. You do not have to get a bankruptcy off the credit report. You do not have to, get all these late payments off because you don't need a clean credit report to have a high credit score. It's about rebuilding around.
Yeah, you hit that reset button of bankruptcy, and after the reset, you build up.
Luke Homen, one of Oklahoma's top bankruptcy attorneys. Thank you for your time and teaching us how to rebuild the credit from your perspective. Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Phil.